Booker T may have been the legendary five-time WCW champion. Mercedes Mone, though, has 5 belts in her current possession, and there is nothing legendary about any of them. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, and we've got to ask the question here: is Mercedes Mone ruining women's wrestling? Or ruining wrestling in general. She just added another belt to her collection. I called her Mercedes Mone. I'm going to change that because there's nothing money about her, but let's call her Mercedes Hogan, because the only thing she's got in common with Hogan is she likes to do backstage politics, brother.
A lot of backstage politics have taken place when you're winning this many belts. I only know 2, the TBS and the CML L, brother, right? What are the other 3 then?
We'll get into them in a minute, but like Mercedes Mone, what the hell has Tony Khan done? I don't know if he just gave her and it's not just Tony Khan, it's every promotion she goes to, they slap the belt on her. I don't know if Tony Khan has got a hand in it. I mean, I'm sure Tony Khan could go to these jobber promotions and be like, I want you to put your belt, because WWE do it with AAA and TNA, so he could be like, I want you to put your belt on my jobber champion, and I'll send you a wee check in the mail if you do so. Could it be something like that, or are these companies desperate for Mercedes Mone to hold their belt?
I don't think it's a good idea, because, well, I mean, of course it's not a good idea, but if it was to put over Tony Storm at All In, I'd half accept it. But do you not agree that Tony Storm's already over? I don't think Tony Storm needs the victory, and Mercedes Mone doesn't. I think this makes sense if you were trying to create someone new.
Aye, but I mean, the only thing that Mercedes is creating is a 6th title.
Make no mistake about it, right? Tony Storm should win, right? There's no that is not even.
I don't think she will. I'm not convinced.
No, she won't win. She should win, but should someone else not defeat Mercedes Mone?
Oh, I agree. I mean,
like, who's going to benefit more, Tony Storm or somebody else? Somebody else.
Well, who's going to benefit from having 5 belts? Nobody. They don't mean shit. I mean, I'm okay with somebody being a double world champion.
There was only one guy that made it work, and it was fucking Kurt Angle.
But see when you see
Perk Angle.
See when you've got the belt collector. See when you've got like these many belts. It's like they're not even relevant fucking belts. I mean, a lot of these belts we've never heard of, and she's just ploughing through divisions, ploughing through companies, and getting belts stuck on her. She's been in AEW for over a year now. I don't think she's taken a pinfall loss in that entire time. It's like, listen, bitch, you ain't a fucking Hulk Hogan. The top people in the industry deserve to be protected. Mercedes Mone is not at that level where she shouldn't be getting beat, where she should not be tapping out. I mean, yeah.
No, so when did Hogan go across all different companies and take all the belts off them?
Yeah, Hogan didn't need to go to jobber promotions because Hogan was the man. He was at the main promotion. Whether it be WWF or WCW, brother. You know what I mean? Do you think, look at when Hogan's the world champ. Is he going to waste his time going to some indie show in front of 15 people and snatching their wee cardboard belt?
Of course not.
Fuck. Wouldn't make any sense. So yeah, we asked the question, is Mercedes Mone, who just recently won the CMLL Women's Championship and now currently has 5 belts, is she ruining women's wrestling? We're going to get into your comments in a minute, but just to clarify the belts that Mercedes Mone does have, first of all, that pink one is the Owen Hart Cup Winners belt. So that's the Owen Hart Foundation Championship that she's currently in possession of, and I can't remember, who did she beat to win that?
Willow Nightingale?
Was it Willow Nightingale, or was it that other person, Jamie Hayter?
I might have been her.
Might have been Jamie Hayter. So yeah, that is the Owen Hart Cup Foundation title. The one that she previously just won there on Dynamite is the CMLL Women's Championship. So that's one of the top Mexican promotions. I think it is number 2 behind AAA, and she's just took that belt. Is that not the one where Stephanie Fakir came from?
I think so.
Another person that Mercedes Mone beat, by the way, in case you can't remember. Pretty much beat her within her first month in AEW. So yeah, so that's the CMLL Championship. Supposed to be a pretty decent promotion. How many times is Mercedes Mone going to go back there and defend it? Probably never. The other one next to her, I believe the one that she has got beside the Owen Hart one, that is the EWA Women's Championship, which stands for the European Wrestling Association. She's only the 4th title holder to have it. They've had 3 previous title holders All 3 previous title holders held the belt for more than 200 days. I don't know if that means that Mercedes Monet is going to hold it for over 200 days. But yeah, I think it's based in Austria, this company. Well, that seems to be where the title changes take place.
You know,
So
also is based in Austria, Red Bull. And that's what you need to stay awake talking about fucking wrestling. Because see this belt, right? What's the fucking point yet? At least when Kurt Angle's taking all the belts in TNA, you know, you've got the world title, the X Division, the tag title, I think you had the Legends one as well, right? Belts are worth something. They're in a fucking good company. The Eastern Wrestling, no, the European Championship, no, what the fuck was it?
Eastern Wrestling Association.
European, was it, no?
Aye, something like that.
Either, I mean, the fact we don't know what it is, I mean, what the fourth person, the company's about 2 weeks old. What is she? I think it takes away for the AEW belts when you're carrying shite ones.
Yeah, I said that the one beside the Owen Hart one was the Eastern. I think the Eastern European one may actually be the one that she has over her left shoulder. But either way, I believe the one that's sitting on top of the pink belt, that is called the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship. She defeated Mina Sharakiwa to win that one in Tokyo, Japan. So a British Women's Championship defended in Tokyo, Japan.
Japan.
She's had that for 168 days. Has she defended it much? Let's see. Has she defended it much? The answer to that question is
No.
no. The answer to that question is a fucking big no, actually. She has defended it once. That's almost like Cody Rhodes territory here.
And
that's the
Collision or something?
Nah, Rev Pro High Stakes 2025. So, I mean, you know, she's held the belt for 168 days and she's defended it once. And that's going to be the problem. See, when you hold 5 belts and across all these different continents. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're Ric Flair back in the day, travelling champions. But even then, right, Ric Flair was a travelling champion, but he was mainly across North America.
And Ric Flair's Ric Flair.
I see when you've got 5 belts, man, it's just not convenient to be flying across. Oh, I need to go to Australia, then I'm going to the UK, and then it's another trip to America, then I'm flying out to Japan. It's not convenient. It's not practical.
No, it's no practical, especially when 4 out of the 5 belts are fucking worthless, pal.
Yeah. Anyway, so she defeated Mina Sharakiwa, AEW Wrestle Dynasty, and then she defeated Kanji to retain it like 4 months later. But fact remains, she's only had 1 title defense in 168 days. The other belts she just recently won in the past month, so there's no point really looking at title defenses there. Then obviously you've got the AEW TBS Championship, which she currently holds. And thoughts on the TBS Championship belt, like?
Well, that is the one that's the most prestigious here.
Yeah, that's the AEW one, so
you'd think that's the most prestigious, but again, I don't know. It's like,
she's held that for almost 400 days, 392 days. And does it feel like a good run? Does it feel like when Jade Cargill had the belt? Because I think the Jade Cargill run felt way better.
No, but like, why is she only wanting the AEW Women's title now?
I don't know, because her paths with Toni Storm never crossed.
Yeah, but it's not like Toni Storm's been the champion the whole time, you know? You gotta think of it like that, brother, but it's meaningless fucking belts. I mean, is she ruining women's wrestling? No, I don't think she is, because, I mean, you're talking about a shite bunch of fucking companies here with shite belts. There's women's wrestling, man. Should be counting the lucky stars of someone with the opportunity to fucking win 5 belts. Put it that way.
Anyway, closing thoughts before we get into comments.
The belts don't mean fuck all. No, you know what though? I like, as much as I think in the past, I mean, Hogan would never have. I mean, Hogan got Austin. They're not going to job her fucking company.
Why would Austin want the Rev Pro British Championship?
No, that's true, but I think it's a good thing for those companies. There's someone from AEW on $5 million a year wants to win their title.
So you actually think it's actually maybe a positive thing for these companies that
Yes.
They've got someone the stature of Mercedes Moné with it's a title?
No, we have to be fair, right? Even though she's not a fucking star, she ain't. But see if this was like Austin. Well, Austin's a bit unfair because he's Austin, you know what I mean? Who's champion? Say Gunther, right? Had the Eastern Wrestling Association World Title. That's good for them because he's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Agreed.
Can't dispute that. But again, it is a bit fucking overkill. I'll accept that at the same time. But that's doing more for that belt than any jobber in that company.
So while you think her having all these belts may technically be helping other companies, you think it's ultimately having a negative effect on AEW?
Yeah, like, let's be real. Mercedes Moné's not doing it to help other companies. She's doing it because she's got a fucking ego the size of a horse.
Yeah, but do you think...
Face.
Do you think her TBS championship reign feels shit?
Yes,
because there's all these other belts involved and it's just taking the spotlight away from the belt that should matter?
Absolutely.
It's hard to make I think it's hard to make one belt matter when you've got another four.
I know, 110%. Couldn't even tell you fucking the last time she defended it.
So, yeah, I mean, it just wouldn't make sense. See, if you were the world champion and you had a bunch of other four belts, like, you wouldn't care. It'd be like, oh, you know, the world title's the one that should matter. Anyway, let's get into the comments. Let's see what you guys think, because
45.
Ran Legit says, if you have to ask the question, you already know the answer. East humbled. Absolutely. What the hell? Screen just malfunctioned on us, guys. Absolutely, but the Chucks will say she's not, and it's well deserved. FOH. What's FOH stand for?
Fog?
Fuck out of here.
I don't know.
It's definitely not fog, you donut.
Nah, H
Unless
is beside G on the keyboard.
I take it back, you could be right, but I think it's fuck out of here. Slang. For like,
I think it's fog. I like to give my subscribers the benefit of the doubt, brother.
Right, Julia's Rage, most of those titles mean nothing. I'd go as far as saying all of those titles mean nothing. Chrissy Anderson, they are all meaningless. Tony Khan can't book her properly. You build a wrestler as a top star, then use her star power to elevate other people, and eventually someone slays the dragon. Other promotions apart from WWE barely have a division. In WWE, she would be a footnote for better and bigger stars, and she was while she was there. Hope she is happy and makes loads of money and wins titles, but if she retired, she barely has a legacy. She tarnished the one she had by complaining and threatening to leave and not turning up for work. You know what, though, this comment kind of screams to me. I love WWE, and the WWE division is brilliant, and there's so many women better than WWE than there is Mercedes Moné. This will be controversial because a lot of people hate her, and I'm not the biggest fan here, but I think Mercedes Moné would be one of the best wrestlers in WWE. I think she's better than most of the women in WWE.
No, of course she is. But is her being a prominent role in AEW better than being like a mid-carder in WWE? Of course, I think it is. Look at Bayley. What the fuck's Bayley doing? 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, no one's going to tell me. No one's going to tell me that Becky Lynch and Bayley are better wrestlers than Mercedes Moné. If someone wants to say Charlotte Flair, I'll maybe give them it.
Yep.
But no one's gonna tell me that. I think people actually. I don't think people give Sasha Banks the credit when it comes to. I mean, they always talk about that match at Takeover with Bayley, and it's like they always seem to pretend like Bayley. Oh, Bayley was the one that. See, if you look at Bayley and Sasha Banks, who's had better matches in their career?
Sasha Banks.
Bayley's had that one match that everyone talks about, and Sasha was involved. Sasha's had a shitload of matches.
See, early brand split in 2016. Charlotte and Sasha Banks held their own. They actually main event at pay-per-views, and it didn't feel fucking ridiculous. Which is a positive.
Bayley main event in any pay-per-view to me would just not look right.
Aye.
And Becky Lynch, I think, is the worst wrestler at the 4.
Yep.
Oh, why are the pint of gas? Arguably the worst talker at the 4 as well. I know some people would say she's hands down the best, but I think she's incredibly cringe, man. Bad World says fuck it. Skill Doggery Doo-Doo, is she like Hogan or Jeff Jarrett? Probably more Hogan, but Jeff did a lot for himself in TNA. Jeff Jarrett was good in TNA. I'm giving Jeff Jarrett the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely.
Did he hold that belt too many times and too long though? Probably. But here.
Who didn't?
Well, everyone else, because they never had an opportunity.
That's it, brother. Jeff Jarrett.
Programmed for Damage says, short answer, yes, she's the Thanos of pro wrestling. Once she collects all the belts, she'll snap all credibility out of existence.
I fucking can't stand Avengers.
I hate it as well. Like,
sorry to bury your comment there, Damage, but it's for losers.
Damn. R. Sean, who's got an image of Goat, says, it might be cute for serious fans that know about the other promotions. I'm a casual and this was my first time seeing CMLL. Meant nothing really, but she should be dropping the belts too. Just taking titles from 3-4 other promotions feels odd. If she is defending them, and it isn't publicised, it feels like a waste. I mean, well, she's defended that one British belt once in 168 days. Unacceptable, that.
No, that is, man. I mean, 168 days is a lot of months. People don't realise.
Yeah, I mean, Cody defended his belt twice in 7. I'll never get over that. I wish I never looked that up. See, cause I see it. I was going to say it keeps me up at night. It doesn't, but it pisses me fucking off.
Nothing keeps me up about wrestling, man.
Nightmares, maybe. Metal Mouse says belts that don't mean an effing thing. Banks Hogan. BD Cool said I watched the highlights earlier. Monet can't complain about being sexualized. She was wrestling with her arse out. I mean, of course she does. I mean, who doesn't? They all fucking do.
It's alright when they're getting paid to do it.
And then as soon as they leave WWE, they're on OF. Right, yeah, Mercedes Monet might not have an OF, but she's literally got a texting buddy system.
$100?
You know what I don't get, right? Is there not, like, fucking AI apps that you could just create and create your own Mercedes Monet for free or something?
Yeah, people are weirdos, man, and
No, but listen.
what a way to con people.
I could almost understand it, 99, if you're texting the real Mercedes Monet, but you're not. It's just a fucking...
Oh, no, I'll never understand
No,
it.
but no, I could understand people if they were texting the real person, but you're not. You're texting a bot. Can't people create their own bots? People, if they've got websites, they create a bot and live chats and shit. So why the fuck?
No, if you're spending $100, even if you're texting the real person, I don't give a fuck if it's the greatest person on earth. You don't deserve to be sharing oxygen with me on earth if you're spending $100 on that shit.
Big Match John, would you not pay $100 for?
I wouldn't wipe my arse with John. Fucking. You know what I mean?
Just so John can send you Stone Cold Steve Austin memes every day.
It's fucking demeaning, right? That's what it is.
Ah, you're right. Actually,
no. See, see when it comes to entertainment, sports, etc. There's nothing wrong with supporting people and celebrating stuff, but see this like going to these signing events and like getting pictures with them and like, oh, hug me and put my arm around. It's like it's another human being. I mean, they were put on this earth with an equal chance of making it as them. Look at you, fucking putting your arm around them, trying to hug them because they made it and you didn't. All it tells me is you're a fucking loser. Like, amounted to hee-haw. So get your fucking hand off them and go and make something of yourself.
So what you're saying is, as we currently sit here on the west wing, if Mercedes Monet was on the east wing, you wouldn't want a hug or a handshake or an autograph?
I'd pull the east wing up.
There you go, guys. We don't need the east wing.
Rebuild it again.
West wing's big enough.
But I just think it's pathetic. $100, man.
Aye, to text an AI bot.
Aye.
It's not even the fucking real person. That's a scam. I think she should be arrested for that. Anyway, Kuaza Mir Gallard says, yeah, she is burying everyone and taking every title. I feel bad. Tony Storm and the rest of AEW Women's Division. Mercedes Hogan is going to bury everyone. Well, she pretty much has buried everyone. Tony Storm's the last one remaining. Although, I mean, apparently it was going to be Tony Storm and Mariah May at All In, and she decided to get All Out, so, yeah.
Oh.
Apparently it was going to be Mercedes Moné versus Athena at All In.
Arlington, Texas, not a big draw anymore.
There you go. If it was good in the first place, she would have, but unless you're Liv or Rhea, it doesn't matter. Hold on, what? If it was good in the first place... Don't get that. Explain that to me.
If it was good in the first place, then she would have, but unless you're Liv or Rhea, it doesn't matter.
See, so women's wrestling doesn't matter unless you're Liv or Rhea?
I can accept that.
Paulo says it's like carrying the up-up-down title around and bragging about it, except more people know the up-up-down-down title than the one she's actually holding. That's a fair comment.
Yeah, more people do.
I would say more people do, just for the fact that Xavier Woods is in WWE and he gets wrestlers on his channel and that's sad, but whatever. Skullduggery Doodoo says, Mercedes, brother, I'm not losing, doesn't work for me, brother. Overpaid and overrated, and then when she finally does lose, she will be like, see, I do give back. Yeah, that's kind of it. Mercedes Moné, she'll lose once in 5 years and be like, I do put people over.
It's funny. We live in this current era, where the people who are like burying the most talent are fucking women.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the outrage if there was a man on the level of Moné, which ain't very fucking high, doing that?
Cody Rhodes not a bit of a burrier, no?
Fuck, he is, but he doesn't have 5 fucking belts, you know what I mean?
Could you imagine how often he would defend them if he did? He had fucking 1 belt and he could only defend it twice in 7 months.
Cody Rhodes.
Hezekiah Thomas says she's being the heel she's supposed to be. She's doing her job because now everyone is wondering who's going to beat her. Can anyone beat her? That's the point. So the first person who does is going to be skyrocketed, and her eventual fall from grace, I think, losing all her belts will be entertaining to watch.
Like I touched on though, Toni Storm doesn't need it. Now she needs it more than Monet. I've already explained it.
But if Toni Storm wins, Mercedes Moné's still going to have 5 fucking belts.
Well, that's another thing.
Gacha Gary says Becky wins a title that makes the crowd hate her. Still unsufferable leftist SWJ feminist. Sasha Banks won another title. Still hasn't lost a major match and is a bigger racist than the ones Smarks accuse of racism. Becky and Botcha stop calling us Becky Hogan and Mercedes Hogan.
Had a dream. Apparently she's dating the Beast Mortos, so he'll probably win the title for Moxley.
I'm actually, yeah, I did see that. I'm shocked that she's done that, to be honest. I'm surprised she doesn't look at him as if he's below her level, because he is a fucking definition of a jobber.
Yeah.
But then again, her old husband was a jobber. Yeah, maybe that's what she wants. Maybe she wants to date someone who's beneath her. Maybe she doesn't want to date like someone that's actually successful.
LG Clearly.
Could be.
Cleary.
John Means says she isn't a superstar. She can't stand on her own. She had actual superstars in the ring with her before. She can't stand on her own as the top superstar, as opposed to who? What, fucking Bailey? One Credit Gameplay says, what are those titles? I've already explained what the titles are. Jim Lang, they can't give her all the belts in the world. It still won't change the fact she can't cut a promo to save her life, and her in-ring skills are vastly overrated. Promos suck, but I tell you what, man, I don't think her in-ring skills are vastly overrated. You gotta be fucking delusional if you think like a Becky Lynch or whatever is better than Mercedes in the ring. You just have to be.
Yeah, but maybe she's shite and therefore she doesn't need to be vastly overrated to just be better than Becky Lynch. No, I
just get a manager.
Let's call a spade a spade. 90% of women in the ring are shite. It's like 10% are decent and above.
Do you think women are better on the mic than they are in the ring?
Ooh.
I think a lot of them are shite on the mic as well.
That's a tough one. Because you've got women that are decent on the mic, but then you've got women who are, I mean, like Fakir Julia, who can't speak a word of English, so therefore they have to be better in the ring.
No, but it is funny that like people claim about equality and pushing the women 50-50 and all this stuff, but see when it comes to people like ranking them and rating them, they don't rate them in comparison to men, because like you can't think that, for example, Shawn Michaels is a 10 out of 10 in the ring, and then say Stephanie Fakir is a 10 out of 10 in the ring. If you're saying Stephanie Fakir's a 10 out of 10, then you're not you're
Shawn Michaels 1,000 or something?
Yeah, you're rating her on a separate basis. But that is true. Like
the WWE games.
No, but that is, the women are just slower. They make more botches, man. They're just not.
It's like women's football. It's like women's sports. They're all inferior to the men. That's just the fucking reality of it.
They're not great there. Anyway, Daniel Fernandez says she's a big joke. Beer Sensei says Montreal style. She's not going to do the job. Take it from her. Vince wouldn't let this happen. We need to bring back Vince. James Carson, the last sentence came out of nowhere and made me wheeze, laugh a little. What was the last sentence? Is she ruining women's wrestling? I don't know. Well, Purple Peck said 5 titles and still nobody cares. She's only ruining her own character. Well, at least she has Mercedes Mag to fall back on. Christopher Baker, never seen or heard of any of these titles before. IX Canada TVs. This woman is very selfish and greedy. Of course, she's ruining women's wrestling. That's why she's not in my top 5 list. Best female wrestler of all time. Not in mine either. So, Mobile. She basically does nothing that entertains anyone except her hardcore psychophantic fan base. The main reactions she evokes are either X-Pac go away heat or no reaction at all. Dean Henderson, you are ruining wrestling by your blogs and videos. Thoughts on Dean Henderson now?
Who the fuck calls it blogs in the big old 2025, brother? No, it's fucking... No, it's incredible though, right? Me and you are ruining it. I mean, me and you are ruining it. Imagine fucking thinking that.
Yeah, BD Cool says don't watch then. Bash says Fog isn't a mediocre wrestler being propped up like a goddess because doing moves to a dead crowd. Don't watch if you hate wrestling so much. I like hearing these guys' takes, and the pair of them are funny guys. That's why I watch. Whether I love or hate wrestling, it has haw to do with it. He to the haw.
Hee haw, yeah.
That's about as much importance as all Mercedes Monet's belts have combined. Hee haw.
Get Joe Gary for a bargain.
No blame Noseman Tony Khan for pandering to JD from New York and the smarks that watch wrestling 27 hours a day in their mom's basement. Noseman and Tony are why viewership numbers are low, pay-per-view shows don't sell out, and people are frustrated with the current wrestling. Nobody wants to see Johnny Gargano and Sasha Banks. Nobody wants to see another cringy Lynch run. I mean, it is. These guys do pander to the likes of JD from New York. See, JD from New York? This guy shouldn't. His thoughts shouldn't even be listened to, man. I reckon you should be chopping your ears off if it means that you don't have to listen to JD from New York. The guy's a fucking loser. He's never once come out and said anything that I agree with or anything that would be positive for wrestling. He's the kind of guy that thinks Sami Sane should be a world champion.
Yeah, you know what though? If they catered it towards us and pandered towards our few wrestling would be great. The numbers would be fucking through the roof again. But no, they don't, because we ruin it.
Fuck JD from New York. He's taking a paycheck. We'll never take a paycheck.
Nope.
But if Tony Khan wants to tempt us with an offer, then by all means go for it.
I'm all ears.
Furman, unless it's JD talking, then my ears ain't listening. Furman says, all this and she's banging the Beast Mortos. What a legend.
Darkness to the top.
Wardy, effing stupid. Melvin Epperson says, oh well, Tony created the monster. Maybe he'll open his eyes when he continues to lose talent. Travis Sharpie says, nope. D. Wayne, I thought Charlotte was bad, but Sasha's worse. There was no reaction from that crowd at all.
There wasn't.
El Barto, she's an absolute loser. And BD Cool says, Ultimo Slagon.
But see when you have matches, right, and you know the person just cannot lose, it takes you to it.
It does.
See, back in the day, and I'm fucking sick of it. Oh, back in the day.
Although, to be fair, I would
say... No, but Austin and Hogan lost, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there was shenanigans.
They normally got screwed, but they lost.
Yeah, I just don't really understand it. Like,
I mean, you knew there was a good chance Austin would lose his title every title defence. Not because someone was going to beat him fair and square, but because McMahon was always out to fucking screw him.
Aye, and that's the way it should be. But now it's fucking predictable as hell.
What I would say is, though, I do think this all-in match between Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm is pretty close to 50-50.
Yes.
I am leaning towards Mercedes Moné, but I do believe that Toni Storm could win. And I think that's pretty good. You know what? I will actually say, I think that both the world title matches at All In are questionable in terms of who's going to win.
Well, John Moxley needs to fucking lose.
Wow, we can both agree to that. But I think there's a chance that he won't.
Which is disgraceful, but we'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there, guys. That's it. Let us know your thoughts. If you already have, but yeah, Mercedes Moné, just not doing... That's her being in AEW now for about 18 months, and what has she accomplished? What has she done?
The same as Andrade.
Slightly more than him.
A wee bit more than Andrade, but no, but the point stands, man. It's not a Mercedes Moné problem, but it just shows you, right? Andrade's done nothing apart from speak Spanish to a bunch of other Hispanic guys. Mercedes Moné has won every match and got 5 titles, and the impact's about the same.
Sad but true. Anyway, guys, that's it. Till next time. Peace.